It's your boy, Big Rob. Sin City Crypto. From my house, my loft, we have the Rant Ramble Sunday special. Back from Atlanta. Had a blast hosting Voice channel. Good to see how another studio operates. Learned a lot. If you ever get a chance to expand your field of knowledge for free without going to school, to see what the competition is doing or industry professionals that are in the same boat as you, and take that chance. You know, when I started in the restaurant game, I would go and work at other restaurants for free. They call it staging. And you would go and you would you'd work for free, but you get to learn so much. You see how another restaurant operates. Obviously, it's good for the kitchen because they get a little extra hand. And so never dismiss the value of working inside of an environment that you're not used to, that's in the same field that you're interested in. Or it's a great way to try something out. Everyone always talks about, being an intern, going to school. You know, if there's a industry or a profession or something you're interested in, you should go dabble in it first, right? When I went to culinary school, there was so many people that went there and because their parents told them they were an amazing cook. Their parents told them that, hey, you make the best lasagna ever. You should be a chef. You should open up your own restaurant. And then there's over a 50% dropout rate in these, in my school at least. And a lot of it came from they didn't have realistic expectations. They didn't know what the market was actually like in that field. They didn't understand the hours, the time to put in. And it's an art. I mean, for artists, you really got to love your work because it doesn't pay the most a lot of the times. The percentages of people that are making money in the restaurant industry are very, very small. And then the 99% of other people are out here grinding. Anyways, if you guys are new here, our Sunday Rant Ramble is a little twist on our normal live stream. It has a very little content on cryptocurrency and more about me just blabbering. That's why it's called Rant and Ramble, because I just rant and, I ramble a lot. So it ends up being a pretty good time. But if you're looking for the next altcoin, or you're looking for deep dive in projects, you're looking for market analysis, this will not be your show. No, not at all. But if you're looking to share a conversation with someone that's in the similar interest you are, and the cryptocurrency space, and some of the successes I've had, and some of the things I've learned through life, and how you may be able to avoid certain things that I've experienced, because I'll share my experiences with you. So hopefully my insight can draw inspiration, or perhaps when you run into a similar situation, you can say, hey, you know what? Big Rob was talking about that. But our Sunday stream is a little bit more lax. We like to play music. We like to relax. We got Jessica up in here. She loves the 80s music. And so without further ado, let's get this thing going. Also, let's get the likes going. I'm going to give a big shout out to a lot of our people up in here as well. And then if you are new here, say hello. So we can drop an hola back at you as well. And before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let me give a little love to the chat in here. Also, I've been seeing you guys and other channels, other content creators. I've seen you guys in the chat there on the other channels dropping the olas. And so I've been writing down all the olas for the people that have been repping in the other channels. So we're going to give you a shout out tomorrow. So if you see anybody live streaming, make sure you drop some olas over there at them. And then let's see here. Let's also... All right, let's get the... Get a little roll call going on. Let's get some new. Let's get a little shout out. We got Rusty Bot Knoxville, Alex Koo, J Does. We got Shake and Bake. Crypto 420. Motivate me. Haven't seen you before. Star Dog, Marcus, Sauce Boss, Mitch, Jessica, Talladega, Tony C, Thomas Image, Colin, Wise Tree, Neil, Anthony Barbacoa, and if I missed you, my bad. Oh, we also got Brian P up in here. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we do have a studio that we film at live Monday through Friday. Well, this is my loft setup, so we got a little something different. And then we got Smacking 10 Cheeks as well. Hola! Rabbit hola as well. And we'll do Q&A as well if you guys have any questions. I kind of overplay the fact that I don't talk crypto. It's definitely not the primary focus of our Sunday streams. We do talk crypto. So if you have any questions on projects, feel free to put them in there. Or if you got any questions, just in general, you want to know more about Rob, want to know more about Dave, want to know more about our plans, maybe how we got here, our roadmap, our hobbies, feel free. It's more of an open session on Q&A, and I will try to get to everyone's questions. And we also got Alex Green and LFT. All right, so real quick, let's take a quick peek at the markets. So we got Bitcoin coming in at 27.6. So little pullback from where we were at a couple of days ago. So we got, let's see here. Let's see what's been going on this week. So on the week, it's not really looking too healthy, right? Yeah, we're at 30,000. Dropped down to 29.5, essentially back to 30, and then we've kind of sold off here. But once again, a lot of times, just like always, you just zoom out a little bit and you get more of a clear view of where we're at in our current stage. So on the 1 month chart, we were at 27,000 1 month ago, right where we were, and we've dipped down to 26.9 here. We've also dipped down to low 27s here. So I think we have a natural pullback here. I wouldn't freak out too much. And then let's take a look at the 3 month. This puts it in even a better perspective of where we're at. Every time you zoom out, you feel like you have more peace of mind, right? And so here on the 3 month, you can see that we were at 23,000 3 months ago here, dropped down to 21, got down to 20,000. So I am extremely confident in the $20,000 price range here, and I think that 25,000 essentially will hold pretty good support. And you can see here, this is the 24.6. So once we cleared that, we've been sitting pretty. And then once again, zoom out even one more time. You can see here on the year to date, you can see really where we've been at since the start of 2023. And so rallied up from 16,000. Made it up to 20,000, and yeah, we've been nice healthy growth since then. We are in a good spot. How is everybody's portfolios looking? I'd like to know. Real quick though, let's get this chat going. Y'all seem to be sleeping here on a Sunday. You know, I will always preach my Sunday vibes here, which I'll go through in a second. But let's get the Olas going. I'm going to be the first one to drop an Ola. I want to get the Ola marching band going. And so let me know you're awake. Let me know what's going on. Let's get the Olas going. And then we'll get this party started. And also, like I said, go ahead and drop questions in the chat. And then I will, let's see here. Where's my chat at? Yeah, here we go. So he said, Colin said, Rob, what do you do to take your mind away from crypto? He said, I guard myself. Oh man, here's the thing. I probably don't take my mind away from crypto. That's the scary thing. I have a bird and a wife, and and I do have a garden as well. But those, I tend to try to squeeze time in for the gardening and my other responsibilities. So for me, I get home, and then perhaps on my Saturday is probably my biggest free day. And so on Saturdays, I will tackle things around the yard and house. We have a lot of wind in Vegas, so I have this sunshade sail that I hung and broke the support beam for it, so I got to put that back up. So that's on my agenda. Speaking of agendas, if you're new on our Sunday show, and then if you're new here on the Sunday show, I want to stress why I do Sundays. This is my favorite day of the week, and if you've been here before, you already know what I'm going to say. But it's a great day because, well, it's the end of the week. It's also the day before the start of the week. And so for me, I like to evaluate what did I do this week, and then after I evaluate what I did this week, see what worked, what didn't. And then from there, I can set a plan and set my expectations for the following week. That way, when it comes Monday, because a lot of people like to just take off Saturday and Sunday, and then they get in on Monday, and they're trying to figure out, okay, they get in the office, like, all right, what am I do this week? You're already behind. You're already behind. And so if you take your time and you start planning out your week on Sunday, you come in Monday, you're ready to go. You're already checking things off. Because if you get in on Monday and, well, you're already behind. We got Philip dropped a 11 euro super chat. And so he says, I liked your friendly BitBoy takeover. Thanks so much. Thank you, Philip, for the super chat. And then I do have the super chat. My boy dropping cashola. So thanks again for that. Much love. And we had a blast over there. It took me a little while to get warmed up. You know, it's a different setup over there. And so here in our studio in Las Vegas, we have like audio kind of pumping through our area. We got our Rocco producer, and all three of us are kind of like talking to each other. And so when we first started recording there at BitBoy Studio, it was dead silent and it was quiet, and I was like on this little island by myself, and I'm like, oh, or this is a little different. I'm like, all right, well, what do I got to do here? So clammed up a little bit on the first day, but I got those butterflies out of the way right away, and cherished the experience. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then Sauce Boss, let's see here. He says, any advice on how to convince my wife I'm not wasting gambling away our money by investing in crypto? So I would see my initial reaction, or my initial thought would be to show her the advantages of crypto versus the disadvantages of fiat. And then, but however, that conversation can be so boring to somebody that has no interest in crypto. And you know, if you're, whatever your wife's hobbies are, if she's, you know, passionate or excited about it, and you share zero interest in it, if she tries to talk to you about it for 2 hours, you're probably going to lose focus. And you know, after a few days and after a few months, because we know how we are in the crypto space, we just can't shut up about it. You're going to probably drive her crazy. So my best advice would be to more or less document your entry and exit points, and then you can show her the results. And you're just going to have, hopefully your wife has some trust in the process that you have, because your gains aren't going to be too short term, especially in a bear market. But if you were to make a spreadsheet, put all of your projects that you're investing in now, and say, look, I'm putting 1,000 here, putting 1,000 here. On top of that, that also holds you pretty accountable, because if you take your sheet and then you say, hey, I got 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 500 here, 500 here. If you're doing that, and then you've traded, sold, bought, and then moved assets around 15 different times, and then you go back to her the next day, you're like, all right, so I sold this one and I bought this one. She's going to be like, what are you doing? Because, well, first of all, might not be the strongest strategy. I feel like your trading portfolio should be a little different, or your swing trading portfolio. And your hodl one should be your investment. That's what you should be sharing with your wife. you do share finances. And so for that, I would recommend just showing her the progress and say, look, hey, I bought Bitcoin at 27,000. And then even let her know when it takes a pullback. So that way she doesn't hear from her friends, be like, man, Bitcoin done tanked, huh? And so instead of her hearing about that from her friends and then be like, well, he bought Bitcoin, you should talk to her first. Be like, hey, you know what? This is actually a buying opportunity. I've been buying at regular intervals every couple weeks, every 2 weeks or once a month. And now the price has actually dropped. So instead of it being a negative connotation to her, you can actually be like, look, I was going to buy it anyways. And look, it was 32,000. Now it's 27. And so, pretty fortunate that the price dropped when it did. And so I think just the open dialogue and open conversation, if she is a little bit more receptive into the technology, I would just kind of sell her on it. Let her know what is happening in traditional fiat currency and what are the benefits of crypto. She's not interested in it, which I'd imagine she probably isn't. Make a little spreadsheet. Like, hey, this is where our money's going. Watch what happens. And then after about 6 months, you're probably going to be in the green. Portfolio's going to be up. She's going to be a lot more, instead of questioning, she's going to say, why don't you put some more money in it? Right. And then, let's see here. What else we got? And then any other questions here? We got Mesh Tokenomics says, my wife used to tell me to shut up about crypto until the argument started coming true, before the argument points started coming true. Now she has a portfolio she built herself. Yeah, let people get into crypto on their own. I know in the crypto space, we tend to want to sell everybody on crypto. And if you've ever had somebody knock at your door trying to convert you to whatever religion they're promoting at your doorstep, it can be pretty annoying, right? If you're not looking to switch religions, a lot of times you're not ready for it. And so sometimes people question the religion they're in, and then they go out and seek, some information, let's say. And, you can lay out the facts, keep it short and sweet. And then if they start questioning the fiat standard, if they start questioning the banking system, the dollar, or whatever currency you're using, then at that point, you've already brought it up. And they're like, maybe he was right. And then Crypto Surfer says you should set her up a small wallet. You could. That's a good idea as well. I'm curious to see what do you guys think? How do you discuss your crypto portfolio, your crypto mindset with your loved ones? Do you try to convert them, or do you just say, hey, I'm over here, I'm smarter than the rest, and I'm just making money? I would just say this: crypto actually isn't for everybody. And I know that we always talk about, I think crypto is better than fiat. I think a lot of us agree. I think there's so much fraud and failures with Congress, but I will say that not everybody's ready. Not everybody has an open mindset or has the strength to hold through big drops in the market. And so, just like the stock market ain't for everybody, right? I mean, if you're 20 years old and you're making $40,000 a year, $45,000 a year, you have to have a roommate, and you drive a extremely old car. It might not be a good idea to be piling in on stocks or crypto. Really, I mean, what you should be doing is investing in yourself, so that way you can generate more income, and then you'll get to your disposable income. That'd be my recommendation there. Redman says Raider Nation, my dude. Las Vegas does have the next Super Bowl, and so hopefully I will be able to go. I would love to go to the Super Bowl. It's always like one of my bucket list things. I've never really made enough money to go, or at least justify the money, because I'd be taking from things that are more important. But maybe I'll have the disposable income this year. Who knows? We'll see. And then Kenny Kennedy said, I stayed to myself last bull market. And then Nolan Anderson said he was entering XRP in 2016 at 3 cents, turned a $250 buy in 2018, all-time high on my birthday. That's cool, man. I love hearing these success stories. And then real quick, let's before I move into it, let's see where everybody's coming from. I am in Las Vegas. I'm sure you guys have already figured that out by now, but let me know where everybody's from, and we will love to give a little shout out to everybody. I want to know where my East Coast people, I find some good music here for this. There we go. So I want to know where everybody's from. So where y'all checking in from? What state you in? What country you in? What continent you in? What language you speak? That's what's up. San Diego. All right. So Lusky says, hola. I think I saw some new people. We got Cheerios McGuire. And then Thomas Sandwich. I think I already said what up. Eric Browning. We got Brian B. Philip as well. Marcus 99. Say, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. And then Marcus is in Vegas as well. That's cool. We got Chris Morris from Kingman. One of my good friends is from Kingman, Arizona. His name is Travis, and his wife is Kate. And then Travis and Kate. And then Kate Snelling. But yeah, so they were actually my roommates for a while. And then we got Lusky's from Austin. I will be in Austin for Consensus. So if you'd like to meet up, I'll be there. And then we also got Destroyer. He said, you know where I'm at. I know where you're at. That's my boy. And then we got Board Type Crypto as well. So Roland 69ers. Okay. Haven't seen you before. So he drops the Ola with the H. That's what's up. And then we got CC Ireland. No surprise there. All right, so let's get into, I do have a couple things to talk about. There has been a lot of discussion, and you know what? I tried to find the article for this, but Argentina, and so Argentina, yes, it was like 2 days ago, there was a big tweet that was kind of going viral in regards to Argentina running out of US dollars and using customers' US dollar deposits to operate its economy. And so a lot of trade and international commerce, also treasury, the treasury bills. If you borrow from the States and it's borrowed in dollars, you have to pay it back in dollars. So a country needs to keep dollars on hand to operate. And that's just kind of how it is, because the dollar is the world reserve currency. And so there was news that they had ran out of dollars and that they were now using customer funds, which was kind of an interesting take. And because I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just buy more dollars? It just seems illogical to me. And at the same time, you had Michael Saylor coming out and tweeting, and he came out and said, what did Saylor? Where's my Saylor tweet at? So Michael Saylor came out and was basically bashing on Argentina, saying, hey, buy Bitcoin. I kind of figured that, you know, that those articles were true. However, I still could not find any info on it. Not through any main publications. And so here, Michael Saylor's come out and said, if you live in Argentina right now, you need Bitcoin. Now, their country, the monetary system is in the dumps. Inflation's out of control. Their monetary policy is in the dumpster. And so I did do some searching, but I did find some other interesting articles. So here you have the Argentina Central Bank. This was on Thursday, so earlier this week, has hiked interest rates to 81%. Let that sink in for a minute, okay? Not only are you battling inflation, but if you have access to banking services and you need to borrow money, you're going to be borrowing at above 80% interest rate. So if you don't pay your loan back within even 3 months, you're going to be just decimated by interest. And so buying a house, attaining a mortgage is probably off the table. Buying a car is probably not realistic as well. If you buy a car and you pay $5,000 for it, you're probably going to end up spending, after about a 4-year loan, about $400,000 or $40,000. And so, because the interest compounds. So, I mean, let that sink in. We talk about our interest for the central bank here in the United States is currently at 5%, likely to go up to 5.25. So 81%, crazy. Argentina central bank hiked the benchmark interest rate sharper than expected by 300 basis points. So they raised it by 3%. So before Thursday, it was still 78%. So it's not like it just got here all of a sudden. And the inflation soared past expectations and hit 104% on an annual basis. And so you've lost half of your purchasing power in literally 1 year. And this is their headline number, which probably means it's actually worse than that because the government tends to suppress the real number. So everything is more than doubled in price essentially across the country. And then the board had decided to raise the inflation rate to 81% above from the 78. And this is the highest in 2 decades. So it was only 20 years ago that they were this high in the interest rate as well. And then it puts into an interesting thought experiment here. Well, one, if they've raised interest rates up to 81% and the inflation is still over 100%, does that mean that raising the interest rates in the way that they are even effective at lowering the interest rates? I don't think they are. And I know we've talked about this before, and the last time we raised interest rates here in the States, the last time in the States we raised interest rates was in the 70s with Paul Volcker, and he had raised the U.S. central bank's interest rate, or the Fed interest rate, to 18%. And I don't, it doesn't seem like that's a realistic number we can get to again. However, that people said that's why inflation came down, but there was a lot of factors going on in the 70s as well. You had, so I think that was when Vietnam was going on. Also, we had just came off of the gold standard as well. And so there was a lot of factors into the the inflation rate coming down. And so it might not be a foregone conclusion. I don't think it is. I think that the monetary system is so complex that the idea that, hey, if we increase the interest rates, inflation will come down. I think it's a lot broader than that. I think the most obvious metric to look at is, hey, how much money have we printed? Because from 2019 to 2023, we have almost 3 times the supply of money in circulation. And so it doesn't take a mathematical genius, an economic major, to realize, hey, if we triple the amount of money that is in this country and abroad, what do you think will happen to our purchasing power? Now, let's say that you're playing Monopoly and you gave everybody 3 times the amount of money as you normally would start with. The game will get out of control very fast, right? Every time you land on a property, you would put hotels on there immediately. And then when somebody lands on it, they're paying a huge amount of rent or mortgage or whatever it is on those properties. And so if you've ever played Monopoly, it takes a while, right? You go around 4 times, you finally get all the oranges or the greens or blues or whatever it is. And then you end up buying the houses when you can afford them, right? And then the rent goes up. So then when your opponents land on the blue space that has a hotel on there or a little green house, then at that point, they're paying more money. But if you gave everybody in the Monopoly game 3 times the amount of money that they had before, then those hotels pop up quicker. And then when you land on them, you pay more. Anyways, that's just an example of a real world scenario where if you inject a bunch of capital and liquidity into the markets, you're going to see prices go up. And that is what we've seen. And that's why we're at where we're at. And so the federal government has just handed out trillions of dollars to businesses, the banks, the CEOs, through what they call quantitative easing, and just literally just just bought debt from corporations. And so they had done it in the 2008 financial crisis when the banks and other companies were at risk of going under. They said, hey, instead of going under, you have some debt. We'll clear that debt for you. We'll buy it off for you. And it was almost like a bankruptcy. So the same way that me and you can file for bankruptcy, but without actually having any of the consequences. So if I file bankruptcy, I mess up my credit for 8 years. However, what the U.S. government did was they just bought up everybody's debt, all these big corporations, and then in turn, there was no repercussion or consequences. They were just handed a bunch of money, or they had a lot of debt just wiped off of the books. And so that's where we got at. I think it's no surprise. I don't think that raising the interest rate is the answer to bringing down our inflation. I think it is responsible spending, borrowing, paying down our deficit, and then also just decreasing the amount of money that we have. And I know we have started to decrease. However, when you decrease money, historically speaking, we've always seen if the money in circulation isn't increasing, there's less money, there's less transactions or less there's less transactions going on, less monetary exchanging or money exchanging between different markets. And so we see a slowdown in Wall Street. But the government doesn't want that to happen, because every time Wall Street starts to crash, they freak out and they print more money. And so we're in this endless cycle right now. All right. So anyways, I want to take a quick look at the, if you're new here, say hello. We got Kenton Smith, John Shughart. We got BMX, also Cash in Crypto, and then Nolan. And if you're new here, say hello. Anyways, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. And then also on another note, we did have some pretty bullish news. This is something I'm kind of excited about here. And so Phantom Developer hints at crypto-friendly bank. If you're familiar with Andre Cronje, he's one of the founding team members. He's not the founder, but he's like one of the devs that came in as early in the project. He's also known as the Godfather of DeFi. And so he had some experience with Curve Finance and other DeFi platforms. And so here's our article, and my highlighter didn't work on this dark mode, so I'll just kind of read through some of this stuff. Now, after Curve finance developer Michael Igorov complained on Twitter that Revolut is not a crypto friendly. Okay, so a couple of things. So a Curve developer, so Curve is a decentralized lending protocol and pretty similar to Aave. And Andre Cronje used to work with Curve. He was one of the founding members there as well. And so Michael and Andre probably know each other well. And so Michael had complained that Revolut, which is very, very popular bank in the UK, they are not crypto friendly and they were blocking his accounts. So he was on Twitter venting his frustrations. In come Andre Cronje, and he says, hey, bro. So Andre Cronje, he's like, I am working on a project. It's in beta. It's a payment infrastructure, and it's gonna solve all these problems. So you're not gonna need to operate with the banks. And this is pretty big, because what have we heard lately, right? Is the SEC and the U.S. government. We just had the MICA bill pass, which is actually pretty decent on the regulatory framework on crypto. But anyways, the ongoing narrative in the last 2 months have been the adoption of crypto by central banks, by companies, and some of the roadblocks that we're seeing due to inadequate clarity in the stock market and global markets as well. Obviously, the IMF is not really too fond of crypto, particularly Bitcoin. They have this narrative of it being dirty and carbon emitting. But so a couple things. Phantom, in case you didn't know, layer 1 blockchain. And I think I actually have a chart here. Actually, no, I don't. So Phantom Layer 1 blockchain, they focus on, so they have dApps, exchanges, wallets. They had a pretty big run up last bull market. And so they came out in 2019. This is one of the Cinderella projects. This was something I had a big interest in. I didn't get any exposure into Phantom, but the more and more research I did into it, the team is pretty solid. And nothing's for sure. There's always risk. Just throwing it out there. But it went from 1 cent, got all the way up to $2.60, and it did pull back to 20 something cents here, as low as 18 cents. Now it's at 42 cents. And I've talked about it ad nauseum. If you've watched our show, I'm a big fan of DeFi and using crypto for what it was built. Remember, why was Bitcoin created? It's a peer-to-peer decentralized payment infrastructure. That's what it was built for. Now it's expanded past the payment system, and it's more realistically a store of value with layer 2s built on it, like Lightning Network, that can facilitate payments. Not quite as secure as the base layer, but however, this is what Bitcoin was created, and this is why it drew so much interest and why people were so excited about it, because hey, we have a technology here that is privy to manipulation. It solves the double spend problem. And anyways, that's what people were most excited about. Now, I know the narrative lately has changed. Oh, hey, you got smart contracts, you got NFTs. These are all amazing technologies. These are all things that will be implemented, will change our world. However, let's not forget what crypto was designed for and what it's going to do best. And it's the movement of value in the form of currency, whether it's a digital currency or it goes back into a fiat. It's an efficient, fast move of currency that is free of manipulation. And DeFi is the bread and butter of this whole thing, right? That's why Bitcoin is touted as being so great, because nobody controls it. There's no foundation. And so as these DeFi platforms evolve and the finance side of it becomes more relevant and has more value, you're going to get more and more people just piling in on this stuff, man. And then people are going to start using it. And people are going to start borrowing with it, using it as a payment system. And that's what I'm most excited about. So right now, during this bear market, I'm trying to identify the top DeFi picks in our space, because that's where I want to be. I'm looking at Aave, I'm looking at Phantom, and I'm looking at even Curve. The list goes on and on. I want to have a diversified portfolio. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll do a video on a diversified portfolio with our favorite top DeFi projects. I think that might be a healthy way of going about it. But that is what I'm looking at. And these articles excite me. And so you have somebody, Andre Cronje, and he's coming out with his own version of a bank, right? He's making a crypto bank. And so they're going to have KYC and money laundering protocols baked into a DeFi service. So this will check the boxes for regulators that your Elizabeth Warrens that are always beating the drum saying there is no accountability. We these North Korea and these other goons, as they always like to use all these weird words or all these like terms of goons and thugs and whatever it is. So all of these people and institutions that use money laundering, do tax evasion, this essentially could address those issues. And so I'm excited about it. Also, I did another note here. It says Justin Sun also working on a crypto bank. Here's the thing. I don't know if I would really trust Justin Sun. Man doesn't really have a great track record. Kind of douchey from my understanding from the circle of people that have met him. I haven't personally met him, but he's an interesting character from what I've heard. But so Cronje noted that the bank is unlikely to be available in the U.S. So here's a little caveat here. He said, legally we can, but given the USA's stance, we probably won't accept U.S. citizens, he commented. So this is operating. This is working right now. It's in a beta form. And this is just yet another example of, hey, we're pushing innovation, we're pushing technology abroad because the people here in Congress, the regulators, the Fed, people that have made their money from fiat don't want to let anything interrupt what we're doing, irregardless if it's hurting us in the long term. I think our kids are going to be the ones that are most affected by our decisions now. I think this crypto stance with the U.S. is going to come back to bite us in the long run. So. And then let's give a little love to the chat here. What do you guys think? And if you guys got any questions, let me know, and I would be glad to take a little Q&A intermission here. See what you guys are thinking, or if there's any thoughts on this Phantom. Are you guys fans of Phantom? Are you bullish on Phantom, or do you not care? I'm just kind of curious where you guys stand. And then as I mentioned, if you're new here, say hello, and I'll drop an whole lot back at you. We do have, I saw a couple of new people here. Let's see, we got I don't see anybody new. Well, anyways, I thought I saw one person. Okay, on one last, Rusty Bot said, is the Euro CV on an exchange yet? I'm not sure. Check. Everyone said everyone should have an ISO 222 wallet with XRP as a front runner. And Redman says, see you guys later. See you later, Redman. Good seeing you again. And Thomas Sandwich says, FTM is one of his biggest bags. Antonio said, what up? Hola! And Alex says, hola! Super bullish on Phantom since the creator came back. You know, that didn't get very much. It was the price of Phantom dumped when Andre Cronje said he was stepping down. Or stepping away from the platform. And then the funny thing is that when he came back, it was maybe like 6 to 8 months later, he had joined the team again. When he came back, he didn't get no press. And so they made this big deal. Andre Cronje is leaving. The price of Phantom dumped by 20%. 6 to 8 months later, he comes back. No price movement at all. I'm just like, it's funny. We also have Eric Browning says, I'm pretty new, but I've heard and seen a lot from BitBoy. And we got Chronic says, hey now. And then, yep. All right. And then one last article here on crypto before I go on some little tangent and rants and rambles here. We have, which this is an opinion piece, but it makes a lot of sense. And I thought about it and I'm like, wow, it probably is. And so without any less explanation here. So Dogecoin isn't a security and is unstoppable, says executive. So in a recent interview with Fox Business, Marshall Heiner, who worked with the Dogecoin Foundation since 2013, claims the meme coin cannot be classified as a security. When asked why the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission couldn't go after the meme coin, he said Dogecoin is like Bitcoin and has an active community. Bitcoin is classified a commodity by top regulators, including the CFTC, and he's basically liking Bitcoin and Dogecoin. So now he said there aren't centralized entities. In the same way that Bitcoin doesn't have a centralized entity, neither does Doge. And the more I thought about it after reading this article, the more I actually agree. And as crazy as that is, I never really thought about it because we are always so quick to judge Doge as a meme coin, a scam. It started as a joke. It has no value, no utility. I mean, at the end of the day, there's really nobody controlling Doge. The original Doge founder had sold all of his Doge. There's no DAO there, and they do mine and validate their ledger. It's co-mined with Litecoin, so the mining. So there's really no miners in charge of Dogecoin either, right? And so because it's co-mined with Litecoin, the Litecoin miners are more concerned about Litecoin than they probably are with Doge. Although that might have flipped because Doge is grown in market cap. But realistically speaking, if you talk to the Litecoin miners, they're all about Litecoin. And so your mining is sent to another chain. So there's no Dogecoin miners, but it's still validated and the ledger is still verified in the same way that Litecoin is. There's no foundation. There's nobody making improvement proposals. And there was some interesting tweet threads between Elon Musk where he was saying that he was going to improve. I wish I would have pulled it up, but he was going to improve Dogecoin. And the reality of it is that he isn't able to because it's pretty decentralized. And I've always kind of realized that Dogecoin is decentralized. Nobody essentially controls it. Now, there is a congregation of Doge into a couple wallets. So there's a handful of wallets that essentially control Doge, and the price could easily be manipulated because of the whale wallets. But that's a conversation for its own. But when it comes to the protocol and it changing or it being able to change, it isn't really doesn't have any centralization points, right? And you can move the price pretty easily if you're one of the privy few that have these big whale wallets. But outside of that, it doesn't it's a commodity. As crazy as that is, right? There's only a handful of projects that I can comfortably say. Now, I think the eyeball test is that, hey, I think a lot of these top projects, a lot of these layer ones are commodities. If they're not commodities at the moment, there are a few upgrades away. Ethereum, clearly a commodity. Bitcoin, clearly a commodity. I think Dogecoin is clearly a commodity as well. And I think Cardano is at this point. XRP is, even though Ripple Labs holds majority of the token. But it's just an interesting thought. I hadn't really thought about that before. And I was like, wow, well, and I'm curious why the SEC hasn't come out, or the CFTC hasn't come out and labeled Dogecoin as a commodity. I think the stigma that is Dogecoin is so strong that they don't want to label it as a commodity because maybe then they'll be laughed at and not taken seriously, right? I don't know, man. It's just kind of interesting. Then, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Dogecoin has any potential or potential future? Because it could technically be classified a commodity, and it is more decentralized. I think Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin all pretty damn decentralized. And I think that if I had to rank them, as crazy as this is to say, if I had to rank it, I think Dogecoin is more decentralized than Ethereum. I think Dogecoin is more decentralized than Litecoin. I really do, man. Now, you can move the price. Price is different, but from a change it, adjust it, issue tokens, not going to happen. Not with Doge, at least. Naturally inflates by 3%. But yeah, the tokenomics are pretty trash on Dogecoin with the inflation rate, but still better than the fiat currency. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah, what do you guys think? I'm gonna play a little bit more music here. See what we got here. What is this? Wise Tree says he agrees. Now, Shib, I think, has the Shib community. They got Shibarium, they got the wallets. A lot going on with Shib. I can't as easily and confidently say the same thing about Shibanium. Now, I think it could be that in the future, but and then Rusty Bot says, go ahead and ask Gary. See, he'll give you an answer on everything but the question. And one last thing, when it comes to the SEC and Gary Gensler, is why is there such a hesitancy to have a clear stance on these tokens being a security or a commodity? It doesn't make any sense to me. When he got asked, is XRP, so Gary Gensler was testifying, he got asked, is XRP a security? And he couldn't even give an answer. I'm like, bro, you took them to court. You're literally in court saying that they're a security. Like, that's why you're in court. Like, how can you not, if there's ever an opportunity to say this is a security, it's because your lawyers are saying, hey, it's a security, we're suing you. And so you have an opportunity in front of a panel of people to simply say, yeah, it's a security. But he wouldn't even say that. There's so much like confusion and smoke and uncertainty in this space. I couldn't believe that one, man. I understand his reasoning for not clarifying Ethereum. Well, they're going through the court case and they're proof of stake now. Sure. I mean, it's a commodity, but it's decentralized. But I will say that if there was ever opportunity for him to take a stance on a token being a security, it was the one you're literally suing, saying is a security. Like that didn't make much sense to me. Yeah, it's just a weird. They're trying to throw crypto into a box that just doesn't fit. You know, you got the old saying, the triangle, square peg, round hole, whatever it is, and it's just, it doesn't fit. You know, you have publicly traded companies where you're buying stocks, and then you have crypto, which is a blockchain ledger technology that moves money, and the tokens are used to pay the miners to validate, or the stake pool operators to validate. And so it's a completely different technology, and they're just trying to apply that to our current system. It just doesn't fit. So anyways, all right, I am going to move on. We're going to talk a little bit about, if you're new here, also, let's get the likes up. We got 94 likes, 117 people watching. So let's get a few more likes. If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and knock that out. Kenton Smith says, hey, yo. And I also want to say, hola. And so let's get the likes going. And then, so want to talk about, and I'm going to kind of revisit a conversation I had when I first started this Rant and Ramble show, was the importance of having a balanced approach and responsibility in life, and how that translates into crypto. So a lot of the people that are in our industry, Crypto Halligan says, hola, Rob, hola. So having balanced structure in your finances is all part of being successful in crypto, and crypto is essentially an investment, right? It's not a security. This is an investment advice, but essentially you are setting aside, you are investing in these crypto projects with the potential for them to be integrated into the world's financial situation. Also, NFTs, smart contracts, make things more efficient and remove the politicians from manipulating, and the bankers from manipulating and profiting from us. So anyways, gives us the power. It's essentially what crypto does. And so getting in on these is you're smarter than the rest of them, the haters, the doubters. Everything in our space historically has went digital, especially on the internet, over time. I don't need to look any further than video games are now downloaded instead of bought at a store. Mail is now digital instead of physical paper. Your transactions moving from banks are digital as well. And how you get your information, your source of information, your mainstream media, even your videos. Obviously, YouTube and other TikTok social media platforms are now more popular than the analog versions, the television and the cable. That is starting to fade. And so we have opened our eyes and realized where we're at. But a lot of us came into this space with the idea that I want to turn a quick profit. I'm not saying it everybody, but myself included. Hey, I can make some money on these cryptos, like this Bitcoin thing. Like, put $1,000 and I can make 100,000. And to some degree, that is true. However, I think most new people have a misjudged time horizon. And, you know, if you just had the conviction to buy and hodl, you'd probably pay off if you could just stop yourself from selling and you had a 5 to 10 year time window. You would see those 10 to 100x returns, especially if you go outside of Bitcoin into some of the layer ones and don't take on too much risk. With that said, we're looking for a lot of us came in looking for unrealistic returns in too short of a time window. We were looking for the shortcut. We were looking to make that quick buck. We're looking to put in 1,000 and become a millionaire. And a lot of us had great aspirations, and then we ended up buying at the wrong time and selling at the wrong time, or holding as a project went to zero. It's a story that I think most of us can relate to, and a lot of that you kind of learn from. But what it kind of also reveals is that we might not have been in a good space financially, and we were looking for an easy way out, right? And that's at least one thing that I share is that, hey, I was not making enough money. I didn't have any investments outside of a couple little stocks here and there. I was treading water and trying to make my mortgage payments. And so for me, I was looking for a lifeline. I was desperate. And a lot of the inadequacies that I had in my personal life just weren't there. I wasn't responsible financially. And in return, I was just taking long shots. And that's how I got into crypto space. And I think a lot of us can probably share that experience. And even though you learn from that and you move forward and you're more seasoned the next time around, doesn't really change the underlying philosophy that we should be working towards, is to be a little bit more financially responsible, a little smarter with our money, right? And so one thing that I'm constantly echoing is that if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you don't have any disposable income and you got a crappy job, it's going to be damn near impossible for you to be successful in crypto. It's just the reality of it. And you need to increase, if you want to make it in this industry, you need to increase how much money you can invest. Because if you're investing $100 a month and that's all you got, and you want to be a millionaire, it's not going to happen. There might be a handful of oddball stories, but it's not going to happen. It's not. I'm sorry, you're not going to get there. I'm realistically speaking. But now, if you could, instead of putting in $100, you can put in $1,000. Now at this point, now we're talking. If you're trying to get to $1 million, you're talking $12,000 by the end of the year. All it would take would be 100x to get to $1 million. And with a diversified portfolio and a long enough time horizon, you can get there. And Pat Murphy says you can leverage trade. You can, but even with leverage trading, you got to keep in mind that the bigger bankroll you have, the less risk you have to take, and the more losses you can take, but without getting liquidated, to bankroll your trading strategy. And now, as I mentioned, there's always good examples, and here in Vegas, there's always examples of oddballs. And here in Vegas, this is front and center what we do here, right? We have we have the jackpots, the lights flash and makes all these noises and it's like jackpot, jackpot, jackpot. You know, the sirens are going off. The guy comes by, counts all this money in front of you. And so that's what you see, right? You're like, wow, man, this guy just made it $500,000. He hit for 10 grand. You know, you fail to realize is that he's also surrounded by 100 people that are all probably 80% of those people are probably down thousands of dollars. And the other 20% are pretty even. And the people that do walk away with some profits are mitigated. They're pretty small. And then they end up pouring that into the restaurants and they buy a new Gucci bag and they leave with less money than they came in with. This is how Sin City works. You know, this is how Vegas works. So the success stories are pretty small, but everyone wants to pay attention to those. And so the same thing here in crypto. So you got somebody you work with or somebody you've seen or somebody you know or a friend of a friend that, you know, hit it big on a meme coin or got into Bitcoin, you know, super early. So those examples are out there and we want to focus on those, but we don't have the realistic expectations that, hey, most people that don't have a big bankroll are piling in, you know, are hoping for this long shot, this you know, 100, 200x, and you know, or you know, to turn $1,000 into $1 million, you got to have a 1,000x, right? And so if you're putting in $100 a month at the end of the year, you got $1,200. You would need a 1,000x. You know, you need 1,000 times returns to get to $1 million. And that is very few and far between. And so where I'm getting at with this is to increase your how much money you bring in or increase your capital that you have for investing. So you have two ways doing that. And you got option one is, hey, spend less, live below your means, and then you'll have more disposable income. Two would be to increase your how much money you make. And it's really one or the other. There's nothing else here. Now you can talk about investing and then, you know, you can generate passive income and all this, but realistically it boils down to make more money, spend less money. That's it. And if you can move both of those pendulums at the same time, you get more disposable income. So instead of paying $800 for a new car, you pay $400 for a used car a month. And now you have $400 more in disposable income. You have $5,000 at the end of the year. You're already halfway there. So for making a decision, $800 car, $400 car, you now are halfway to $10,000 a year in investing by simply living a less expensive lifestyle. If you're not generating enough capital, well, hey, man, it's time to invest in yourself, invest in your education, invest in your net worth. Go out there, and if you're just simply, so that there's two ways of looking at it. So you got your career, your profession. You know, what are you passionate about? What comes easy to you? What do you like to do? That's what should make you happy, and that's what you should try to do. At the same time, if your goal here is to make money and kill it in crypto, you're gonna need you need a bankroll. Straight up, you need a bankroll. And if you need a bankroll, you need to make more money. And if the job you work at don't pay you enough, you need to go find another job. If the job across the street or the competitor, they don't pay you more than where you're at now, you need to either move up in the ladder in said field, or you need to move to another department or another brand, another niche, or whatever it is. You got to make some moves, man. And we should always be growing. Like, you should never be standing still, like, ever. You should never be standing still. Like, you should always like evaluate, like, where's my performance? Where can I increase my productivity? What areas am I lacking in? Because I don't care what company you work for, you can do better. Unless you're running your own business. And even then, there's always avenues and opportunities. But especially if you don't own your own business, there's always a ladder to climb, right? Unless you're working for one person who owns one store and he's the owner and you're the only other employee. Outside of that situation, whatever company, corporation, industry, wherever you work for, there's always a higher paying, more prestigious position. You just need to go out and get it. And if you don't have the qualifications, well, go get the damn qualifications. That's it. You don't even need to go to 4-year college. Like, as I mentioned when we started this stream, if you were watching it here when we first logged on, you can go out and test out an industry. So, hey, I want to go do, I don't know, another profession. I can't even think of one right now, but let's just say there's something that interests you. It could be in automotives and engineering, whatever it is. And you could just go there and say, hey, I would like to see if you would be willing to sit down and talk to me. Give me the expectations of what it is to be in this industry. And, or if it's possible, I'd love to hang out with you during some of your regular operations. I am a YouTuber. I create content. And there is a casino here that has a podcast, one of the top 5 largest podcasts in the world. And they do sports media. They have a studio inside the Wynn. I knock on the door. I'm like, hey, I would like to see what you guys do. Okay. What do you do? Oh my God, I don't need anything from you. I just would like to gain the knowledge by sitting here and learning something from you. And then if I had never done a YouTube video or I had never done any kind of content creation, and I wanted to get into the media industry, this is a great way to see if this is something that interests you, and you can see what is involved in doing said industry, and to spend a couple of days. And you'd be so surprised at the reception you get when you just say, hey, I want to just see what you guys do. Can I hang out with you? You almost never get any pushback. And then on top of that, you don't even have to go to 4-year college. You can just take courses. You got community college. You have your regular university. You don't have to sign up for a bachelor's degree or associate's degree. You can just go there and be like, hey, I'd like to sign up for a class. And so for me, I'm like, hey, I want to go look at videography. I want to look at graphic design. I can just go take a class. Do I need to go take an English class and politics? And do I need? No. I mean, if I desired that degree, then sure, it has value. But if I determine that I just need this piece of information, and here's the place that offers it, this will give me more value. Instead of signing up for a 4-year college, I can just go take that class. And so, yeah, there's just something to think about there. Now, real quick, I do want to give a big shout out to Brokey Yoshi. Gave 10 gifted memberships. My man right here. So, Pokemon Crypto King. We got Hefe, G-Man, also Hoven, and Miguel James Reagan all got gifted memberships. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Big shout out to Broke Yoshi. We did get to meet him over last week. He lived in the Atlanta area, or at least in driving range to it. So we did meet up with him. And then I saw somebody earlier saying they were going to be out. If you're going to be out in Austin, Texas, or if you live in the area, if you want to meet up, I'd be glad go grab lunch with any of you. I will be there on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'll be in Austin, Texas. And then, yep. So Moonshine says, only bills I had was rent, food, power, insurance, but no capital. I went to the bank and told them I need $40K for a car loan. I used it for a big crypto deal. But so you borrowed. There's a lot of risk with that. If you had success, all props to you. But it can be easy to sell early, buy at the wrong time, and then you're paying interest payments. And so if you're low on capital, I say here's my thing. I think it'd be better for you to borrow for your own personal development. And so if you don't have money to take those classes I told you about, or get a certification, or buy a piece of equipment, like say a laptop, or maybe some subscription services, or join some kind of group that can help you learn your industry. I think your better investment is in yourself. Also, don't dismiss the power of books and the internet. So a lot of times you can just kind of go to Barnes and Noble or whatever your bookstore that you have in your area, and then just get the top books in your industry. and then you can, or an industry you're perhaps interested in as well. Now, so anyways, as we're talking about, you can increase your net worth by increasing your value and just getting after it every day. I mean, I think a lot of people get complacent. I think complacency is the dagger to our success. It's this it's comfort, right? And with comfort, you have, let me get some little sound here. But with comfort, it gets you out of your work hard mentality, right? Easy to go home, sit on a couch, watch TV, play video games, drink a beer, go hang out with your friends. If you want to make it big, you want to increase your value, you got to get to work, man. Cause ain't nothing in this life gonna come easy. Now you might get a handout here and there; those are few and far between. But for true success and to like really feel proud of your accomplishments, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the reps. You got to do it every day. And at some point, your hobbies and things that you like doing, like if you can find a career where you can facilitate those and you can make money and make a profit off of it, great. But at some point, that allure, that happy, I love doing this, that will wear off, and you'll be in the thick of it, and you'll be 6 months into it. You've been doing it for every day with a lack of sleep, and you're not seeing any money or whatever it is. You're gonna doubt your own process, and that's where just the grind and the belief and doing it day after day just pays off. And if you start getting complacent and tired, you ain't gonna make it, man. You start doubting yourself, you start talking about failure, and you say, hey, this isn't working. Well, that's the wrong mentality. And if that's what you say, and that's what your conversation you're having with yourself, you're gonna fail. Straight up. And so if you find something that you're good at, you're passionate about, in an industry that you're passionate about, like, and you just do what comes easy, the money will come, right? At some point, you'll get the value out of it. Now, some professions don't pay as much as others. That's why you gotta, if you're an artist and you do oil paintings, probably ain't gonna make as much as a certain engineer in technology sector. But you just gotta live a little bit. You gotta live a little bit more in your price area, right? As everyone says that success is essentially your big house and your big car and your material objects. No, it's not. Your success is doing something that you're passionate about, that fulfills you and brings you joy. And if you can make a living doing that, then that's what success is. Well, here's the thing. I could make the same amount of money doing these YouTube videos as I do now, and I'll be perfectly happy, man. I don't need that big payday that everybody else in the top YouTubers are at. I don't need that Lambo. I really don't. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I appreciate money. I appreciate earning. I appreciate the value of it. Life comes easier. Things are made better when you have money. I'm not here to say there isn't, but at the same time, it's if you're happy with what you do, man, that's the prize right there. And if your goal is to make more money, it comes easy to you, and money will come. Harp says the doctor's in. Also, Arad says kind of dramatic with that music. Yeah, that's right. Kind of dramatic. Hey, here's the thing, man. It's what are you guys excited about? Let me know. Like, what are you guys passionate about? Put it in the chat. Like, let me know. Like, what do you like doing? Whether it's a hobby, whether it's your work, whether it's your family. Like, what brings you true joy. And like, what is it that fulfills you, right? It's different for different people, you know. I'm curious where you guys are at on this. And then Rick Wilson says, great perspective. It is, man. We've been brainwashed. We always talk about this American dream. American dream is just something that was sold to us, right? The American dream is this idea pitched by the banks and institutions that, hey, you need to buy a house, a car, a yard, and work, clock in and out, have a profession, retire after so many years, get benefits. Like, nobody ever really says the dream is to be happy, right? Hey, that is never part of the dream. So the American dream is to take on debt and buy stuff. And why is this idea floated out there, rotated and repeated, regurgitated, echoed? Why do we keep hearing that, right? Well, that's pretty simple. Because corporations, the same Christmas sentiment, the same vibe where, hey, you need to buy every person you know a gift, and every person that knows you needs to buy you a gift, and you need to spend as much money as you possibly can on every single one of those gifts. And that's the spirit of Christmas. You know, that's the spirit of retail marketing. That's a damn good job of it. And so America's institutions marketing is that, hey, you need to have nice car, jewelry, big house, perfume, designer this, designer that. And nobody really stops to ever say that maybe we should find something in life that makes us happy, man. If you like cooking food, just go get a job as a chef and do that. Or just, practice and perfect it and grow and learn more about that on your personal time. It doesn't all have to be for a profession. If you like building model airplanes, you don't have to go build airplanes for a job. But in your spare time, you can work on that if that fulfills you. But if you also have the creative mindset to build model airplanes and other projects like that, perhaps maybe a job that uses the creative mindset that you would have for those hobbies, you can also use those in your real life. Me, I was a chef. I've been a chef all my life. And so for me, I like to take ingredients and build them and tweak them and always change it and find out what people like. But that creative mindset is something that I did on my personal time. I took that and then I started what is more what I'm passionate about in my career. I also did that with YouTube and video creation. So my creativity, taking all these different variables, mixing it up and making a recipe that is a product for someone to consume, is the same thing as I did before. And so for me, I took what I was passionate about and I just tweaked it a little bit, right? So instead of grabbing a flour and butter, creating a pasta, I got my co-host, and I got cryptocurrency, and then I try to make the best product ever. And in my culinary side, I try to make it as sexy as possible. Gorgeous dish with a sauce and a garnish. And here, try to make it as sexy as possible. The best cameras, the lighting, and the speech, and how you discuss what you're passionate about with your viewers. That's what I'm doing. And on top of that, I'm using my personal experiences to share that with you, because I found savior from the political and institutional side of the world, where I was getting feed to death by my bank accounts, by overdraft fees, by credit score, and I had a very hard life. And so for me, everything got easier when I got into crypto and I got out of the savings account and I started investing and I started finding these projects. and I started making videos. My life got more fulfilling. And the more I talked about this with other people, the more people that I reached, the more family members and friends that I got into crypto, they also had that same vision. They had their eyes opened up. And they're like, wow, well, you know what? We are getting cheated by politicians. The government is taking money. Their inflation is bad. I am making less money, and our houses do cost twice as much. And there is an alternative to that system. And so for me, I saw an opportunity to, one, take what I've learned and to preach that information to the people that want to accept it. Because in our space, it's so full of people just trying to make money and sell you the next project, that what is lost is, hey, I want to help you, man. I want to reach. Right now we got 120 people. I hope hopefully I can help 1 or 2 or 5 of you get a little closer to exiting that trash system that we're in. Or maybe 1, 2, or 5 of you will talk to somebody else and be like, hey man, I know you're struggling, and have you thought about investing in yourself? If you looked at maybe not buying that expensive car? And you know, that's the more people that I can get on this channel, the more people I get my message out to, and the more likely that I can affect someone else's life, because crypto's worked for me, man. This has really worked out for me, man. And it's opened my eyes. I was never employed. I was a chef, man. You know, but it opened my eyes to what is going on with the banking system and these politicians, man. They're stealing from us, man. Gas was 99 cents when I got my driver's license. $5 now. Things are 5 times as expensive. When I started working, now it takes 5 times as much dollar bills. And when I started working, your job, you paid $8-10 an hour. And now the jobs pay $15-16 an hour. So it's not even 2 times as much money as when I first started the entry-level position. It's not even doubled. And everything is 5 times as expensive. My parents' house cost $50,000. My house cost $500,000. I bought my house for $150,000 10 years ago. Did I put $350,000 worth of upgrades in my house? No. Just the value of our dollar has dropped by that much. And we've been brainwashed. We've been brainwashed. Say, hey, you buy a house for $150,000, now it's worth $500,000. You are so smart. Wow, what a good job you did. But everyone fails to talk about the fact that our dollar is worth so much less. And if I were to buy another house, now it takes $500,000. If my house burned down and I didn't have insurance, which I know is not the case, but just hypothetically speaking, for me to buy another house would be $500,000. I don't make $500,000. And then I got to take out a 30-year loan. And now the interest rates are up to 5%. Your national mortgage for 30 years is 7%. Like, we're in some shit times right now, man. And there's no end in sight. There's no end in sight. And that's why we're in this beautiful space where we have this value that we can lock up that nobody can touch. If you put your money in a Bitcoin, your government can't touch it, your bank can't touch it, the court system can't touch it, your wife can't touch it, nobody. It's yours. It's yours, it's nobody else's. And as everything else goes down in value, as all the dollars go down in value and everything gets more expensive, you hold your purchasing power free from everybody. And you don't get feed for it. You don't pay $15 to Bank of America for them to custody it. And it's damn beautiful, man, right? Because we've never, in the history of humankind, we've never had that ability. There's always been a king or a prince or a queen or a president or an oligarch or a businessman that controlled how much money you have and what is its value. And this is the first time in human history that we have private money, private value. It doesn't matter what country you live in. It doesn't matter if you live in Venezuela, Argentina, the US, and Russia, and Turkey, and Australia, and Japan. It doesn't matter. Bitcoin is one Bitcoin whether you're in Japan or you're in the US. You can't say that about any currency. You can't. And so I ask you, if you see somebody that is just in this American dream fiasco, chasing their own damn tail, running up credit, not being able to live, trying to... Don't bug them, but just say, hey, man, you do realize there's an answer to this, right? You got a friend, be like, you do realize there's a solution to this problem. When they say, man, I paid $90 for my tank of gas today. You know, you say, hey, you know, you ever looked at crypto? And then if they brush you off, you say, look, when you're ready to talk to me, you come find me. Then you have that conversation. Then you tell them to go watch Sin City Crypto. All right? We're smarter than the masses, us here. We're early, right? We're the same people. We're in the same situation where you have people buying computers and using the internet, and you got people that are like, nah, man, I'm sticking with Blockbuster. I'm gonna keep my my newspaper subscription. I don't believe in this whole video call thing. It's just time after time, these people that are stagnant and they refuse to change, they're the ones that get left behind. And you can already see it in our industry, right? You can already identify it. People, what do you hear all the time? Oh, I feel like I missed the boat. I feel like I should have got in on Bitcoin early. And whenever you hear that, you just say, bro, whatever that feeling you had, this is opportunity. You do it now, and you can hear somebody else give you that conversation in 5 to 10 years. And I simply say, I'm like, look, you get one Bitcoin, you'll be a millionaire. Give it 5-10 years. Buy one Bitcoin, you'll be a millionaire. It's that simple. You want to be a millionaire? Figure out how to get $27,000. I think everybody in here has a car, right? And if you don't, you'll probably buy one. Your car is going to cost more than $27,000. Your car will cost more than $27,000. You're going to buy a new car at some point in time in your life. It will cost more than $27,000. And all of us are going to figure out a way to buy a car, right? If you want to be a millionaire, if that is your goal, figure out a way to get one Bitcoin. It's 27 grand. Figure it out. Make more money, spend less money. That's it. Like, the answer is so simple. It's dumb simple. It's dumb simple. You want to lose weight? Go run or eat less calories. The answer's simple, but you just gotta have the conviction to do it, man. Want to be a millionaire? The answer's right damn here, man. Wait 5-10 years, buy a Bitcoin right now. Figure it out. Figure out how to get it. Figure it out. 27 grand, man. I paid 150 for this house. 27. I could have been 5 Bitcoin right there. 6, 7 Bitcoin. I've had several cars in that time. Y Street says, buy me a Bitcoin. I like it. I'll buy you a Bitcoin. Rabbit says setting up notifications on old pager now. There you go. And you don't have to have the highest data data package and the newest iPhone. You save some money. It's a big ass bill, right? Damn phones, man. You know? Anyways, get a little bit more lively music. And then if you guys have Joshua Sinraza, he says BTC Church. It is Sunday. Stay Golden says, if you don't believe me, just watch the last 60 seconds of this one. And then what else we got? Anybody else new? And so Abominable Beard Bread Man Spaghetti Rigetti says inspirational. Vilad says wise words. And then so you guys like it, man. I'm feeling it, man. If you enjoyed today's rant and ramble, if you're vibing what I'm saying, put a 1 in the chat. If you think I'm talking nonsense and that you got a happy cushy job and that your portfolio is good, man, and what the hell is Big Rob talking about, put a 2 in the chat. Inspirational, you liked it, you found some value, put a 1. If that was entertaining to listen to, but you're kind of full of yourself, put a 2 in the chat. I want to know what did you guys think? 1 if you're vibing, 2 if not so much. Want to know. And then crypto needs Red Bull. So we got some 1s up in here. A lot of 1s, man. Cool. Glad to hear it, man. Paul Lucan says, buy an Elantra. You know, it's funny though. I will say that I spent, even though I'm preaching about not spending so much, I do have a new Mercedes, but I did buy a cheaper version. You know, I didn't buy the S Class or, you know, those souped up AMG ones. I do have like some of the AMG features, but I drove a used stick shift until I was 39 years old. So I'd spent 39 years of my life without anything nice as far as the wheels. So I did save up for it. So I didn't recklessly put myself into debt and have some crazy bills or whatever. So I set some money aside, took some crypto profits as well, and got myself a new car. So that was my own little treat. I'd spent 40 years without a new car, so I figure, why not? Why not, right? Let's, you guys, this is one of my favorite songs right here as well. A lot of 1s. I got no 2s here, so pretty dope. So I'm liking it. A lot of 1s, no 2s, huh? Thought somebody would be funny and put a 2 in there, but and so Harp, let me pull this up. Harp had a good one here. So Harp said, so inspiring. I want to stop working right now and stare at the charts. Speaking of charts, let's take a look at those. So take a look at the price. All right, where is my? I haven't been at home for a week, so I'm forgetting where all my buttons are at here. I got a board here I can switch stuff with. Got some new electronics coming. I'm excited. Some new microphones. We're gonna be doing, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, we're gonna be doing a night afternoon upload every day. So you're gonna get one video. Yesterday's video, I had my bird Larry. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but he's been over here just yelling. But yeah, so my bird Larry, I hadn't seen him in a week, so I did a video. So you're gonna catch one upload a night. That'll be about a 4 to 5 minute video, kind of giving you kind of like perspective on some hot topics, maybe some big price movements if Bitcoin moves all of a sudden. And then let's see here. So a lot of Gary Hines as well. I don't think I've seen you before. I think you were typing earlier. Stay Golden and Philip, Rin 1010, Joshua, and to all of you, hola! Welcome to Cincinnati Crypto. Okay, so we got Bitcoin coming in at 27.4, so a little pullback from where we were at the start of the show. So looks like we might go down and test this 27.4. I'm just curious if we'll hold this this $27,000 mark. And, you know, we have to go back to the 3-month to see, because here's the thing. If we lose 27,000, it's not a lot of, there's not a ton of support at 25, right? So from here, you went from 29, you went from 30 down to 20, and we didn't even, it was just a straight drop. So historically speaking, the 25 was not really on the table, right? So it is shot past 25 on the way up and the way down. And you can even look at the full historical chart. Here we'll go back to here. You go, well, this was the last bull market. So we went from 19,000, didn't stop at 25. And so we went right up to 32. And then here we didn't go that low. And then on the way down, we went from 30 down to 20. And then we shot past 25 again we shot past 25 again on the way up. So we were at 24, and then, you know, we stopped at 27 briefly, and then we were up to 30. So I am a little concerned if you're looking to get past 30,000 if we lose this $27,000 mark, because I don't think we're going to have much support at 26 and 25. 25 is a big psychological number. However, historically speaking, it just hasn't spent much time there. Now, we could form a bottom there. We could trade there. Could be a level of support. But I lean more towards the side. If we get down to 26.2, something like that, I think we go all the way down to 23, 22. That's where we traded at here for these few weeks. So I don't think there's too much going on in between the two. So, and then anyways, also taking a quick look at some other charts here. And if you guys got any questions, let me know. Articides says, is there any news today? You know, I didn't see much news, to be honest with you. I checked before. It's nothing really. And so a lot of the narrative in crypto lately has been regulation, Congress, and with that, obviously not much is going on over the weekend. You had Janet Yellen on Friday have a interview that was aired in regards to the hegemony of the dollar, some of the banking situations, and so it didn't come out really good for global economies. You know, she referenced, like, she had referenced was it recessionary environment, slowdown in the economy. So yeah, not anything too bullish as of lately. Quant is up 1%. I saw somebody earlier, I meant to get at it, but somebody in the chat earlier asked what I thought about Quant. Distributed ledger technology, DLT over, anyways, Gilbert Verdian. You know what? There was some news. I saw it on Twitter and I couldn't see anything on it, but somebody said that Gilbert Verdian was stepping down or resigned, and I went and looked for those news and I could not find it. Let me see if there's any news on it. Gilbert Verdian. So there was some news that he was resigning on Twitter, but I'm not. Yeah, see, I'm not finding anything here. I think that was just some FUD. But big fan of Quant. I think data storage management, and also they facilitate what I think they're going to facilitate CBDCs. A lot of the technology is an easy plugin for CBDCs, and whether you want them or not, they are coming. And hopefully we get CBDCs running on our private issued crypto blockchains instead of an in-house ledger that is not a blockchain that is run by the government. So hopefully that's what we get. And even if, let's just say, like the US or, you know, a handful of big banks countries do end up using their own proprietary blockchain of sort, or at least digital ledger, there are going to be a host of countries that use the private sector. And whoever's using the private sector, whatever those chains are, those projects, man, those are going to skyrocket. And as I mentioned, I'm super bullish on DeFi and all of those as well. So, all right. And then I am see here. Let's take a look at the chat here. Kind of just go through some what y'all are saying. And now, man, bought low on FTX. And Rob currently got a 25K portfolio with no BTC. Hoping to roll all Bitcoin profits. Bull run into BTC, bad move. I think BTC is your long-term hold. If I could draw a comparison to like legacy finance, I look at Bitcoin as my 401k, as my retirement, as something that I continuously want to put money into. Same way if you have a job and you're putting in a 401k every month, every paycheck, do the same with Bitcoin. It is the safest and most secure asset in the crypto industry. It is equivalent to buying gold, and it just moves a lot easier, and you can trade it on the fly, and it's going to probably increase in value faster than gold. I think we can all rest assured of that. So I think that's just your no-brainer, right? And then from there, you make your other investments. And so if you look at people on Wall Street, they probably have a retirement fund. They also trade, right? They also have their investments into more speculative stuff, into tech and whatever industries, pharmaceuticals. Like they have different sectors that they put money into, and they probably diversify into those sectors. So if they're interested in tech, they're probably not all in on one company. They probably have 5 or 6. The same here. Invest in the long term. Pick some projects that have potential for upside. Identify do some research. Identify the ones that have good potential. Pile in on those early. That's it. And watch shows like us that give you a little bit of alpha on, what to look out for. Blazing 2JZ says, hello. And hola, back at you. All right, guys, I am going to wrap this thing up. And so I appreciate all of you joining us. I had a blast. It was a good one, man. Talk about Bitcoin and crap ass government. I stepped in some dog poop next to my desk here right before I went live. I was researching and smelled something and walked over and tried to find out where that smell came from. And well, it was on my foot. And thanks to my dog. But washed that up. Got the stream going. Just another interesting Sunday. It was good chatting with all of you guys. Good to meet all of you. If you're new to the community, I welcome you. I invite you to join us on Monday through Friday for our live show. I will only be on the live show tomorrow. And then I am off to Austin, Texas for the consensus. So I also invite all of you to join me in Austin, Texas. Please DM us if you are going to be in the area, if you'd like to meet up. And it was fun. It's Sunday. Relax, but also get some stuff done. Straighten up your life, straighten up your house, straighten up your wife, straighten up everything. Without further ado, I'm going to sign this thing out of here. So thank you again, everyone. Happy Sunday. See y'all next week.